Hello friends, welcome back to So Easy with Shelby and Gabby. I'm your host, Kay Stewart. Thank you for coming to my page and watching my videos. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit the subscribe button down at the bottom so that you don't miss any of the videos I'm going to be posting. I post videos at least once a week or twice every other week, but again, you don't want to miss the videos that I'm going to be posting. Today, I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you today, and this is going to be on McCalls 7430. This is the pattern right here. And I'm actually going to be doing this dress right here. If you can see it. Long sleeves, nice dress with a low collar. That's the one we're going to be doing. This is a great beginner's project because there's no zippers, there's no buttons. You can use some stretch fabric. I recommend you get like a sweater knit for this pattern. This is what I'm using. I'm going to be using this sweater knit right here. And as you can see, it has some pinks and yellows and some darker pinks. Just because it's fall and winter doesn't mean you have to get boring or you have to get those dark colors all the time. You can still brighten up your wardrobe with colors. And this is what I'm going to be doing. I've already made this dress. I actually did this dress in 30 minutes. That's why I think it's a great beginner's project. Because it didn't take me long to do that. And it shouldn't take you long to do it either. On your very first try, it may take you a little longer. So if you don't do it in 30 minutes, do not get discouraged. That's just something for you to work towards and make it a goal. But again, this is a dress that I did before. Again, I did it in sweater knit. And it's, again, it has stretch to it. And it's black and it has like a really red, nice pinstripe through it. I really love this dress. I wore it to work and I wore it to happy hour. Really great, really great. So let's begin. First thing you want to do, again, you want to get your pattern out and you want to check out your pieces. For the dress that we're doing, you're only going to need pieces. You're going to need piece number 5, and that is your front yoke. You're going to need piece number 7, and this is going to be your collar, your neckband. You're also going to need piece number 8. This is your sleeve. And as you'll see on the markings of the thing, it'll tell you where you can cut off for B, leave for A. So if you don't want long sleeves, you do not have to have long sleeves. I'm just choosing to make a long sleeve dress because of the weather that's going on here. You're also going to need piece number 2. This is your back yoke. You're going to need piece number 4. And this is your back that you're going to use. You also need piece number 1, which is your front here. And you're also going to need piece number 3, which is going to be your side yokes. So you want to make sure you cut out all of those pieces, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so when you're working with stripes like I am, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your stripes are lining up. So you have one fluid line across your dress. You don't want your stripes to be all over the place and they're not coordinated together. Let me show you what I do in order to do that. Again, I'm working with stripes, so I'm going to show you. The first thing I do is I think about my pieces that I have to use for my dress or whatever I'm making that's going to have stripes in it. With this dress that I'm doing for you all today, what I've done is these are the three main pieces of my dress. So this is how you get the stripes to line up. I took the fabric, I opened it up, and what I did was I took it and I folded it over so that I would have 2 folds right here. Because both of my dresses, the front and the back piece, have to be cut on the fold. So here's what you do. You fold your fabric over in 3 pieces like I've done here. You go ahead and line this one up on the fold on this side with your stripes. Do you see my stripes are already going through? Now, this is the piece that's going to connect the 2. So, of course, you want these stripes to match as well. So, you're going to lay those out. You lay this one out in the middle. You want to go ahead over to this side and put it on the fold. Now, all of our stripes are congruent with each other. When you sew them together, you're going to have one fluid line. I hope that helped you. Oh, if you're looking at these things, these are just washers I got from Home Depot to help keep your pattern down when you're using patterns to cut out. Another great tip for your pattern is Take your iron to your pattern piece and it will create a static that will lay flat against your materials so that your paperweight so it doesn't want to move. But again, this is a trick that I use so to make sure that all your stripes are lined up. You want to just line them up together, and that way when I cut this piece out and when I cut this piece out and when I cut out my last piece, they're all on the same stripe so that you get that one fluid line across your dress. Then I'll show you what's next after I've cut out all the pieces. Okay, so I have all my pieces cut out here and they're laid out on the table. First thing we want to do is you want to take these two pieces right here, number 1 and number 4. And I know you're probably looking at the pattern and saying, is she going to do what it's telling me to do in the instructions? Kind of, but not really. So we're going to take these first two pieces right here, number 1 and number 4, which is your front piece and your back piece. And the first thing we're going to do is you're going to also open these up like that. So this is my right side facing right here. And then I'm going to open up this one, which is also my right side facing. And we're going to grab the yolks. So, number 5 is your back yoke. So you want to take that, you're going to open it up like that. And you're going to get number 2, your front yoke. And you're going to open it up so that the front side is facing again. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to connect our pieces together. And we're going to use those little notches I told you all to make sure that you cut in your fabric. As you can see, there's my notch. And I know some of you are probably using tracing paper. If you use your trace paper, that's fine too. But you want to make sure you get those 2 marks that you put there, because we're going to put these 2 together. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to take your yoke and your dress piece, and you're going to find the notches like that, and you're going to take and put a pin in it. Okay, so get your pins, and you're going to find those 2 notches, right sides together, and you're going to pin it. I'm going to pin it just like this. You're going to pin it going across. Again, right here, notches. Start at your notches, and you're going to pin them. And then you want to pin it all the way like this, straight across. Anywhere you see me put a pin is where you know you need to sew at the time. So again, I'm going to do this. And when you take it over to your sewing machine, you're going to sew straight across. We're going to be using a zigzag stitch because this is stretch fabric. You want to make sure that you're not popping any threads when you put them dress on and when you go to wear the dress. Again, you're going to do the same thing with the front. You're going to take and match your notches. When you match your notches, you're going to go ahead and put a pin in it. And remember, wherever I put a pin is where you're going to sew. So this is what we're doing. Pinning it straight across because this is the first place you're going to sew. Straight across your back yoke and your front piece and your front yoke and your front. So again, pinning all the way across like that. Make sure your notches match. Pin it. You want to go over to your sewing machine and you're going to make sure you go straight across the top of here and straight across the top of there. Remember, you're going to do a zigzag stitch. I'm also going to finish off my top with my serger when I get done so that I have a nice clean finish. But if you don't have a serger, don't worry about it. Just make sure you do your zigzag stitch across the top, and then you want to make sure that you cut off as much excess as possible. And then you're going to open it up like this, and you're going to take it to your iron and you're going to press it out flat. Then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I'm back from my sewing machine and I wanted to show you a few options here. Now, what I've decided to do from this point on, this is the first piece that I went to my sewing machine and I did my zigzag stitch on it, and I took my serger and I went straight across so to have a nice clean finish on it. Now, if you don't have a serger, again, I want you not to worry about that. Here is the piece also sewn together. And here's what I did on the other side. Let me get it so you can really get a good view of it. What I did was, after you've sewn it together, I opened it up and I took it to the iron and I pressed it down, and it's laying just as nice and flat. So you can do that. Do not think if you don't have a serger that you cannot do this project, because that's not the case. Okay, so now that I have both of my fronts and now that I have my front and my back together, completed, I'm going to take those side pieces that we had before. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over to the right side. Sometimes I like to work on the right side because it makes it a little easier for me. So I'm going to move this one out the way for right now. And I'm going to lay this one like this because now we're going to join the dress together. And again, as you can see, my stripes are nice. So you're going to take one of your pieces, front or the back, either one is fine. And we're going to find our notches. Because remember I told you those notches really mean something. So you're going to find your notch, right sides together. I found my first notch and I'm going to put a pin in it. And remember, everything that I tell you to pin is something we're going to sew. So, got my notches together. Going to take a pin, I'm going to put a pin in it. Just like that. And you're going to go all the way down to the bottom of your dress. Now remember when I told you about having your stripes line up, this is the part where you want to pay attention. If you'll see, I'm going to show you in a second, my stripes are matching perfectly where my notches are into the dress, and that's because of the way I cut it out. So you want to go all the way up to the top of the dress. Now when you get to the top of the dress, this part right here is going to look kind of funny because it's almost like it's not matching, right? It's missing. Now what you want to do is you're going to grab that top piece like that, and you're going to make them match in a sense, because once you put the two together, so you're going to put those two like that, take your pen, stick it in there, and we'll go all the way up to the top and make sure that they match all the way to the center, all the way up like that. Gonna put a pin in it so it stays in place, and then you're going to go all the way down to the bottom. And again, you want to just be conscious of your stripes as well while you're pinning, because your stripes are lining up, but again, you could be conscious about it when you're pinning and when you're sewing to make sure that they're matching. Nothing is perfect, but you can get really close to it. So you're going to do that all the way down to the bottom. Then you're going to turn your dress back around like this, and you're going to grab the other piece and do the other side. So you're going to grab your other end, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to find your notches like this. There's my notch. There's my notch. And you're going to start pinning. Now you're going to do that again just like I showed you how to do it. And again, be cautious of your stripes when you're pinning. And I'm going all the way up like that. Now once you have both sides pinned down, you're going to take this over to your sewing machine. And remember, we only have one piece right now. So you want to take it to your sewing machine, and you're going to sew from all the way up there all the way down to the bottom on both sides. Then I'm going to come back and show you what's next. Okay, family, I'm back. So the next thing so this is what you have when you come back from your sewing machine. You now have your back piece. For me, you have your back piece, and you have your two side pieces connected. What I did was I took it over to my iron. I pressed out my seams again, just like I did at the top. So now what we're going to do is right sides facing. You're going to get your front of your dress, and you're going to put them down right sides facing, just like this. So now you have your front and your back piece on top of each other. You're going to take your notches right here at your shoulder and you're going to stick a pin in it. Because you know what that means. Pins mean sewing. So I'm going to take my pin and I'm going to pin it down because we're going to go ahead and sew right across the top of the shoulders. Now you're also going to do the same thing like you did on the side and then you do it in your yokes. You're going to open up the seams after you've sewn it together and press them open. I'm going to pin this side. You're pinning it. Pins mean sewing. I'm going to pin finish that shoulder off right there and put a pin in it. Then you're also going to take your dress and lay it on your table and we're going to pin the sides to the front. So what I'm doing is, as you can see, taking my dress, I'm going to flip it over like that so I have the right side facing. I'm going to take the bottom of the dress where the sides have been sewn on and I'm going to find my notches as always and I'm going to begin to pin. Remember, you also want to make sure you're conscious of your stripes. You want to make sure that your stripes are matching up. So find your notch, go ahead and stick a pin in, because pins mean sewing. You're going to be finished with this dress really soon. Only things left to do after we've sewn the neck, after we've sewn the shoulders together and after we've sewn these two sides together, is going to be to add the sleeves, add the collar, and put a hem in it. And you're done. Told you, it's a nice, easy beginner project. Also, if you want to take your sides and add a contrast color to them, a solid color, you're more than welcome to do that. That's what I love about this dress because it gives you the options to do that. But again, you want to pin it all the way up. And you want to use pins because pins do secure your fabrics together and they don't move when you're going through the sewing machine. And again, pin all the way up. Just like this. Matching my stripes is what I'm doing. If you're not using a stripe pattern, then you don't have to worry about it. You just go ahead and pin it all the way up. But because I am using stripes, I have to worry about that. Okay, and I'm going up there like this. All the way up till you get to the top right there. Pin it. You want to pin the other side, same way. Go over to your machine. You want to go straight across your shoulder, straight across your shoulders. Open up your seams, press it down with your iron. Then you want to come here. You want to go all the way down to the bottom. Open up your seams, press it. Then I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine. I have my shoulders done. Open up my seams and I press them down. Same thing with the front. So you should be seeing form right now with this dress. Like you can see, now it pretty much looks like a sleeveless dress. What you want to do is you want to take your dress and you want to go and try it on. If it's not fitting you like you want it to, then you want to take it back to the sewing machine and you want to go back down your seams a little bit more. This is your part where you're going to nip and tuck. This is the part where you're going to make this dress fit you. My dress is fitting me fine, so I don't need to do anything extra. So I'm going to show you the next thing to do. Next thing we're going to do is now it's time for the collar and the sleeves. So you want to take out your sleeve piece here. Now what I did was I made my sleeves a little longer. I do like the way the sleeves fit on my last dress, but I wouldn't mind it if my sleeves were a little longer. I have really long arms, so sometimes I like my sleeves to come down a little further. So that's what I did. When I cut out the pattern, I just cut it about a half an inch longer than the pattern it was itself. So what you want to do is you want to take your sleeve and you're going to fold it in half, just like this. Now, I know the directions tell you to ease it and all those things, but I'm going to show you a way where you don't have to ease and all that stuff, and your sleeve will still look really good in your dress. Remember, if you're working with stripes, you want to make sure that your stripes are lining up when you fold this in half. We're going to fold this in half. I'm going to take my pins and I'm going to pin it through there like this, because pins mean sewing. So that means we're going to go to our machines and we're going to sew down the edge of this sleeve right here. And like I said, I'm making sure that my stripes are matching, because I don't want my stripes all over the place with my dress. Going to do your other sleeve the same way. Now, we want to take this collar piece. And let me show you what we're going to do with the collar piece. The collar piece, we are going to fold it in half, like this. And we're going to pin it, because we're going to sew it. And you want to make sure that your collar is on the stretch, like that. Good thing for me, I have 4-way stretch on this material. So you want to make sure, again, your collar is on the stretch. Again, you want to take your collar, pin it, because we're going to sew it right there. Once you've sewn your collar, we're going to come back over here and I'm going to show you how we're going to fold this in half. And you see those notches? You see those notches that we cut out of our material? I'm going to show you where you're going to put that on your neckline. Because you see those notches there on your neckline, so we can put your collar on. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from the sewing machine and I have sewn both of my sleeves. I've taken it over to the iron and pressed out my seams, as you can see right there. I also did the same thing with my collar. I sewn it right there. I pressed out the seam, and then you're going to fold this in half with your right sides facing. You want to make sure that you get it nice and even all the way around, and I'll show you why in a minute. Remember, this is a dress that's work in progress. So I did put this over top of my head to make sure that it fits. If it doesn't fit, you want to adjust your seam. You want to take out that stitching and make it a little bigger or make it smaller if it's too big. But again, you have to make sure that your stuff fits you. So I did try this over my head and it fits fine. Next thing you're going to do, your dress is facing your inside out right now. And this is the way I want you to keep it. It's inside out. You're going to take your sleeve and we're going to turn it the right side though. So that way, if your sleeve is there, it's on the right side facing. We're going to take that sleeve. I'm going to go from the bottom of my dress. I'm going to take that sleeve and I'm going to insert it in my dress. So now on the inside of your dress, you have two right sides facing. Again, you want the wrong side of your dress and the right side sleeve. So what we're going to do here is called find the notch game. You're going to find your notches. On one side of your sleeve, you have 2 notches. On the other side, you have 1. I'm starting on the side that has 2 notches. And I'm going to pin it. Then you're going to find your next set of notches. And you're going to pin those down as well. Normally I would look for my seams to match, but because we have the side yokes in this dress, there aren't going to be any seam matching with each other. And you're going to go all the way around and do that. You're going to find all of your notches. You should have 3 of them. And you're going to pin that down. This is why I'm going to show you why I'm not doing the ease method. Because with this fabric, you don't need to. Okay, so here's my last set of notches right there. And I'm going to pin that down. Pinning means sewing. That means we're going to sew. The next thing you want to do is you're going to take that top of your sleeve that you have right here, and you're going to grab the top seam of your dress where your shoulder is, and you're going to put the two together just like this. And then you're going to kind of give it a stretch so you can see where that sleeve needs to fit. With me, I needed to turn it a little bit, and it's actually going to be the middle of your sleeve. It's going to fit right there at the seam. Going to take that and you're going to sew it, pin it down. Pin it just like that. Again, you want to take your sides like this. I normally take my sides, I hold it like this, going to give it a little stretch like that so it's nice and flat. See that? Nice and flat. And you're going to pin it. This is important when you're sewing. You want to make sure that you have all your sides are fitting and everything is right. Going to do the same thing with the other side. Pull the two pieces together, give it a little stretch, take a pin, stick it inside, just like that. Now your sleeve is inside your dress. You did not need to ease it or any of that. It's going to, once you go over to your machine and sew it straight across here, it's going to lay flat. And I'll show you the next steps. Oh, no. So after we have our sleeves in, I have both of my sleeves in, you're going to grab your collar. As you can see in the front of my dress, there's two notches. You want to find your collar and find those two notches. Once you have those two notches together, you're going to put them on the inside of the dress because you want it to be on the right side of the dress. You're going to take those two notches and you're going to pin it on the inside of your dress to the collar, just like this. And you're going to go all the way around the collar. Two notches in the front. I've pinned those down together. And remember, this is inside of your dress because you want your right sides facing. Turn it around like this. And you're going to continue to pin all the way around. And what I do is I like to give it a good little stretch like this. That way I know this is my center back. And I'm going to pin that to my center back. Right there. And the same thing with the sides. Give it a little stretch. Okay, family, I'm back. And as you can see, my sleeves are on. My collar is on. Everything is looking wonderful. I went ahead and hemmed the bottom and hemmed my sleeves. So the dress is now complete. And we're all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget, this is McCall's pattern 7430. And I hope everything was so easy with Shelby and Gabbie. I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.